Nice having me here, and nice seeing you people to share one or two things as far as my genre of music is concerned. Fuji music. Fuji music started from Nigeria, the music of yesteryear, and we have a lot of players way back then. But Fuji music became more popular and open to the world through the man known as Sikiru the Barrister. And he takes all credit for every successes of Fuji, of which my humble self and several others today we are benefiting from. But the fact of it is, that is the only known genre of music that is indigenous. And it's still very, very vocal and strong till this moment. And I've also foresee a foreseeable future for Fuji music, the way things are at this moment. The Fuji music that I'm talking about, combination of what is known as the real African rhythm and instrumentation. Something you can never wipe off from the life of our people of the yesteryear. It is, yes, indigenous, very strong in the life of our people. And if we trace back the history of entertainment back in Nigeria, the olden days, there's no way you talk about Nigeria and entertainment, you don't talk about the Lagos, Nigeria. Lagos, Nigeria happens to be the center of everything as far as Nigeria is concerned. As a matter of fact, that still makes Lagos State today the leading light. When you see how everything, the influx of everything, even right from the time of the white leadership around you here, they make a search and they came across this continent to this side of the world to discover something so unique. Upon the influence of brand of music that was brought into our mix, that was introduced to us either by the Portuguese, by the Bees, but everybody, the English, the French, everybody, you still see that the one that is so important and meaningful to our people is still very much there and still relevant till today. When you're talking about Sakara, you're talking about Dondon, you're talking about Gudugudu, you're talking about Apala, Omele, and so on and so forth. Those instrumentation that combine the richness, the goodness of our brand of music is still very much strong, and no known technology has been able to give us the exact meaning of those things as naturally as it is.
So, sir, when you started music, what was the other music? What was the popular music of that day? What, like, we now, we sing hip-hop and all of that, but a lot of us grew up on Fuji and Juju and all of that. So when you were starting out, what was the popular music of that era?
That's what I said. I said, today Fuji started from Ajiwere Ajisari. Ajiwere Ajisari, it's a street music.
Exactly. So what was the popular, acceptable music apart from what you picked up from Ajiwere
Ajisari?
Sir?
That is what I said. The lyrics of our people that's so important and so meaningful to them in the way of their radiation. Any day, we all know, any day, they use this at first. It has religion undertaking, because Ajuri Ajisari comes to play with the Muslim fasting period, and you see various groups here and there from different parts of southwest Nigeria. They were so entrenched with getting this thing done, to wake people up and call people to serve. It makes a lot of meaning to them. And talents keep, rising and rising and rising from that. Like I said, to the glory of God and to that great man who makes it so more popular, Security Barrister, is later today, but the works that are left behind, the good people like us that are left behind, are still making that impact very strong and will continue, and a whole lot of people. As a matter of fact, it has gone viral to the point today music, the hip hop of today, got all their life from that area of music, Fuji. Because a whole lot of hip hop artists, they got to grow up to listen and understand the importance of this music in our music. And that is where they got their own discovery and life as well. And that's why I said Fuji music will continue to make a meaningful impact in the entertainment life of this country, Nigeria.
I want to applause for him, please. What I was going to say is, I grew up listening to Security Barrister, but there are certain parts of it that seemed a bit over my head that I didn't necessarily understand. The Geoproba and all of that. The rhythm is fantastic, but the Yoruba seemed a little bit over my head. But for people like you, you helped us see Fuji from another perspective. You opened it up, and then I remember you singing Tafilo, London, La.
I feel alright, London, La. Oh my God, you got it.
So yeah, for a lot of this generation that listen to that sound, they are infusing Fuji into hip hop and all of that. What was it for you that made you funkify it, so to speak? You were about the first to start putting saxophone with Fuji, and I gave it a different sound entirely. What was it for you? Why did you funkify it?
Number one, I had opportunity of coming into that genre of music when I was a little boy. I started playing music at the age of 7, and I grew through the rudiment at that time till I was 18 when I turned full pro. And when I turned pro at 15, at that time, not very many young folks like me were able to stand to that test of time. So it becomes more challenging for me. Those I'm seeing ahead of me, the Security Barrister, who happens to be my boss, my direct boss, and I like to and very many other ones that are their category or right just outside them. I see myself as a younger man, and the responsibility fell on me about giving this music and participation of young folks like me, more importantly, into that music. And I thank God that really saved that music for us, because while those that are older than me were taking charge of the adults, I was able to carry the younger ones along, and they get along so seriously, and it really opened serves as an open eye for others that wants to like, oh, if he can do it, then I can do it. So it's really a high opening for a whole lot of young folks, and it really helped me as well to be able to pull all those things that I believe we see. We have influence of foreign music in our society there. You see everybody going for disco, and this is what they do. And I want to attract most of my younger folks, my mates, into what we are doing. Come in. So we have to start putting this and that and that. So the idea of finding it wasn't too distance of the thing for me, it becomes more important for me to see that happen. I derive that energy from those younger folks that still around me.
But are you not worried that it's waters Fuji down a little? Is it any different from the real Kong Fuji? Is that something?
It has not taken anything that is real Kong Fuji out of Fuji. Many years after, if you listen to most of my lyrics and composition and album like that, now, over there, you see, Abu Shasham, Rawe, Shasham, Berry, Abu Tento, Tibubu, Watimo, Shasham, Abu Shasham, Berry, Shasham, Rao, Eba Mashe, Ashe. Now, we'll go back to that. Eba Mashe, Ashe. You now see, in the life of the hip-hop, the future we're talking about, this is where and that is me. You can now marry what that past, present, and the direction of the future we're talking about.
Another round of applause for you, please. Again, currently, Nigerian music is experiencing a wave of international attention. You know, international music companies are signing Nigerian artists and all of that. People like you didn't need to be signed by a company in the US, right?
For a very long time, I've been signed on by a Western company, Stands African Records. They produces some of my works from the olden days, and they were instrumental to my going to perform at the World Center stage at World of Music, Art and Dance in Reading, England, and Morecambe Bay in England too. It was as a result of that signing that I was able to appear at the center stage. Very huge appearance that has led to it won't just start happening now, it's been happening. It's been going on for a very long time. And many people don't know the way the white people do their things. They won't come out in here to tell you this is what we are doing. They are doing their thing when they catch it fine and nice. They go to develop it. I was discovered at the Sphinx Festival in Brussels, in one of the festival appearances at the World Center stage, when 1998, that was what brought about my going to perform and make an album for the preparation of the World Cup of 1998 in France. Many people don't even know that album is in existence, and I was selling so serious.
In Europe?
Oh yes. Was done on Goldmyne. Yes, it was done by Goldmyne, World of Music, Art and Dance, and very many other ones, even in Nigerian, World Center stage. I was signed on by a white company and was really on serious promo that did more than over 4-5 albums for them. And till date, I still go on tour and we appear at the center stage. So if any one of our new entrants is being signed on today, it's a great achievement because over here, they look up to what we are doing here and they see the best of the future. You can even you trace back to even Michael Jackson. He came to the coast of Africa to take some of the sound, and it's a great development, yes, and success for African music.
I know a lot of people here. Me personally, I got interested in football because I'd listened to songs of yours that mention European cities that you have played.
Oh yes.
About Brussels, about Badas, Germany. You know, it opened. A lot of us can tell you about Europe without necessarily being there. at the time that you were going to these places to perform, were you performing for just the Nigerian audiences, or was it a larger group of people that was listening to your music?
If you go online to do more research on Woman, World of Music, Art and Dance, Woman is a classical world-related music exposition, including women's and those appearances. It is there where you have the larger house. I was at Royal Festival Hall. Royal Festival is not mainly Nigerian community that we go to perform for. We perform at, when I say center stage, how many Nigerians has the opportunity? We have great King Tony Ali, we have great singer Barrister, we have Fela Anikulapo, the great Femi, myself, then Lambaja, then Shehu Moflake, and other talents as well. People like us, we do not showcase just to Nigerian audience abroad, but to the center stage. When I say center stage, that is where showbiz happen, and that is to the world, the whole world. You can't call performance at the Royal Festival Hall a Nigerian thing. You can't call a performance at the Barbican a just Nigerian thing. You can't call Reading World Center Stage at the Reading a Nigerian thing. You can't call the Makami Bay performance that has huge appearances of world-class artists a Nigerian thing.
So it's more of a global audience.
Well, it's a serious one. It's a serious one.
Can we say that is still the case for younger Fuji artists? There's just a handful of you that can have this command all over the world. What's happening to Fuji? You know, it's Nigerian pop songs are taking over the place. Most people listen to, you know, the Olamides, Whiskies and all of that, who were inspired by you, but not necessarily Fuji artists that still sing that genre.
Number one, we have very many genre of music. Even the late Stephen Osita Osadebe, their music made so much meaning, and you see various young artists too doing research, goes into most of the music, also have one or two things to say. It is good. It is good. Because music is about direct and redirect. Either you like it or not. That's why we say yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Fuji is still very kicking, and we have a whole lot of participants as well, going here and there. But unfortunately, when the whole world gets scattered, the whole world gets scattered because of insecurity going about here and there. That is when a lot of change were being made on people's movement from here over there. That's when they don't use to stop any entertainer. I remember when I was to first go on my first trip outside the country. I think 1975.
Please say that again, sir, for those people in the back.
1975.
All right.
When I was to go 1975 on my first trip outside the country, normally you don't go, like going to England, you don't go to embassy to apply for visa. You get your visa at the port of entry. And I only left with some of my works that I did in a sampler album cover. Because my first album didn't come out until 1979, but I have a sampler of my job that I have with me, and I carry it along with me. And when I got to the port of entry, this is what I showed them. I'm an artist, I'm here on holiday. So they just took it from me. Oh, they say, oh, nice. What band of music you play? I tell them what I play. And I go there. So even by the time I had to travel with my band, I made first trip with my band outside the country, 1980, with my band to go to perform in England. And I'll tell you, when I was to perform in England, I performed at the most very outstanding and prestigious hall there at the Hammersmith Center. Hammersmith Town Hall Center is the biggest at that time in the League of Barbican, Royal Festival Hall, and so others. So I know what I'm talking about, and I know what it is. But unfortunately, when the whole world turned around, when there are insecurity here and there, they started doubting and checking people. That is when the whole world scattered. But still, they give respect and honor. The record is there at various embassies. Very many artists go, many Fuji and other artists, they go on tour. You see them going on tour. The situation about finances and monitoring, we might not have to enable us to know which one does this, does that. I go on yearly tour. It's a normal thing for me to go. Yeah, up to now. I'll be going on tour. I'll be leaving for my tour by June, and I won't return back to the country until September. So I go to
most Fuji artists don't have this thing that you have. A lot of them don't go on tours, except for, we can count on one hand, Fuji artists. I
am not here to defend each individual, but I'm not the one. A tree doesn't make a forest. We have a whole lot of Diwali, everybody is there, Pasuma is there, every one of them, they are there, and they were doing well. And we knew. And this is not far-fetched from getting the fact, if you wanted to. It's not too far to get those facts. Fortunately, what you are trying to, I know what you are trying to ask me. You want to ask me, how many?
No, not that.
That's what you want to ask me.
I'm more concerned that you've been doing this for over 40 years. There are people my age who are singing Fuji who do not have this kind of reach that you have. I'm worried that some of the things that you have done, they cannot even think about it, let alone do it. So what is it that is affecting Fuji artists that cannot have that vision that you had back in the day?
Nothing affects Fuji except that the generation, we are having regeneration. We have the regeneration, and the world at large is changing. Trends, people follow the trend. But no matter how we have the younger ones taking over, following trend, that still will erase that. King Sunny Ade, you'll be surprised. I was at, I think I was at one of his shows in Los Angeles last year. He still goes on tour. You can imagine if King Sunny Ade still goes on center stage. I watch him perform live in Los Angeles, and it is the same usual thing that we know of King Sunny Ade over 45 years ago. So, unfortunately, how many people keep track of numbers of artists that goes out of this country? Do we really do entertainment as a serious business like they handle it in the West? We don't. My reason of giving a serious applause to what is happening and that made me present here today was this thing, what we are doing now is long overdue. It is something the West always do to jumpstart, kickstart, and put the toes of every participant just high up there for them to have a good end result. And that is what we are doing. In the past, are you saying to me the last 3-4 editions of this program is just the starting point of music entertainment in Nigeria? No. Unfortunately, when we have the likes of Aphrodisia, Decca West Africa, those multinational recording companies over here, they wanted to do, but environment, they don't have a stable environment that would make them invest huge of their money. And music needs huge investment. For you to have an appreciable result, you need to pump so much money for much money to come. That's why we still have EMI, BMG, we have everybody, we have those big names. In America still kicking and doing like they were the superpower. They are the superpower because they put much money into it. Honestly, I'm happy this is happening in our lifetime as well. So we'll be able to have something to say to the new generation we're talking about, that this direction we are following now will have a lot to do in helping to shape up our music entertainment.
Thank you very much. So yeah, this generation now, what can they learn from people like you for music, for the business of entertainment, for performance, for leading a band? You know, an average band, correct me if I'm wrong, you will have at least 20 people on that band. How do you, and you know, a lot of songs these days are just 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and then it's over. You can make a whole album of a 60-minute record of you singing on and on. It takes a lot of practice and grit to do that. What can this generation learn from you in that regard? How to make music, how to perform music, how to sell the music?
They have a lot to learn from us, because when we do in hours, before I could go to the studio, before I could be certified what going to record, I must have convincingly done over 60 days rehearsals.
So where do you find time to, okay, go ahead, 60 days rehearsal to produce one record?
60.
I know.
Not 60. That's
2 straight months.
2 months. You must be certified, fine in everything that you want to say in the studio, because the studio is not so. Studio is like an examination, like you're going for an examination, and you imagine before you are prepared for the examination, it must be a serious revision and revision and revision. So they consider your coming to the studio as your final examination. And if you do it right, you know what it is. The result is you are going eye open there. Look at that, my album. That album then. Ọ̀ṣun pàkùtàn ẹ má ṣe gbẹ̀mí mi, ò máa ní fowó ṣe. Ẹni tí ó ṣe bí aláàrù lóyìnbó, ó lè ṣe bí akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́jà ọba. Àyìndé o, Àyìndé o.
Yes, sir, you were talking about when you made that record, sir. You were telling us about when you made that record.
Oh my God, in the 90s, was a success, instant success. As a matter of fact, sold in millions. That album then was instant hit, sold in millions, and it's still back to back. Even when the remix of it was done by Olamide,
it was a massive hit.
Also, was a hit, serious one. And that is the transition we're talking about. That is the future we're talking about. That is the future we are talking about. And that's to say to you, people live solely. They have something to tap from very seriously to give them the future. We are sitting down here discussing everybody that have been here this morning, discussing. That is the future we all face. That future can never be without not carrying that Fuji track along. It's impossible.